Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Valerie Z, the founder of Spiritual Cardio, a 10-week group coaching program that teaches women how to make peace with their inner truth and practice self-love, where we heal in community by interrogating our inner demons until they lose power over us. I'm bringing you the powerful spiritual practices that helped birth my transformation because I want the same for you. I'm going to teach you how to build a love story with yourself and your inner child. So let's go. I'm sure you guys know by now how much I love doing this show. I pour my heart and soul into each episode to create a ripple effect of healing and self-awareness in the world. And you guys can help me make that little ripple into a wave. So I ask that if you find value in this episode, or if you had any aha moments, or if the show helps you navigate your life in a more positive direction, please share the show. It would mean so much to me if you would do that. And now let's get into it. Hey, you guys, this is episode 26, and I'm Valerie Z. Thank you for coming back and tuning in. I wanted to share with you guys something that is really powerful in helping you become whole. There's many different ways of becoming whole. One of my methods that saved me from feeling lost and helping me heal is writing, journaling, speaking my truth. It's a form of discovering yourself. It's a form of releasing the noise from the mind. And it's a healthy way of releasing everything that goes on inside of us. And it's psychologically liberating to release. So I think that the power of journaling is something that many of us might not be aware of. When I was young, I was 14, and my mom had recently left. There were many, many days where I found myself really in a dark place. I mean, severe depression as a girl who needed her mother and her not being around. I felt so alone in my bedroom. My dad was off doing his thing and working or whatever it was that he was doing at the time. My brothers were dealing with the abandonment in their own way. And all I had was my diary. All I could do was write and write and write about how I felt. And there was such a relief. I'm not saying that it cured me. I'm not saying that it healed me. But it was healing to release so much emotion and pain onto the page. It helped me get through that terrible time that I was living through. Journaling is a way for you to express what's on your heart that maybe you don't feel comfortable with sharing with other people. Or maybe you have shared it with other people, but you can't just be this person that just keeps repeating themselves to their friends over and over. So journaling is an outlet to express yourself over and over about the things that are heavy within you, that you need another outlet other than a therapist, other than a friend. And there's something magical and spiritual about the movement of your hand, a pen, and a paper. And as you express these heavy feelings that are within you and you put them onto the page, afterward, you feel a little sigh of relief. You feel this weight from your shoulders has been lifted. Journaling has just It saved my life. I still have my diary and my journals from when I was a kid. From time to time, I'll go in there and read them. There was just so much pain from a very young age. And I love the fact that I had an outlet to help me heal, to help me gain some clarity. Because journaling also helps you get clear, because as you release these thoughts, this noise from the mind, you're able to get some clarity. You're able to find some relief. So I want you to know that if you struggle with expressing yourself, maybe you struggle with connecting to yourself because there's so much noise going on in your mind, you can gain clarity through journaling. Just get it all out. Anything and everything that comes up, write it down. As you do this, you get to know yourself on a very deep level. It's a way for you to discover yourself, because as you release the thoughts, the noise, you get down to the roots of who you are. You start to tap into what you want. You become willing to speak your truth more often because you're not clouded by the noise of so many thoughts in your head. It's a form of healing yourself to journal. Anything and everything that you feel, get it out, write it down. You know, if there's something that happened to you last week that left you angry and maybe feeling not good enough, write it out. Write down what happened. How did it make you feel? What could you have done differently? Get it out of you. Get it out, get it out. In Spanish, nos tenemos que desquitar. It's like journaling is, just imagine you're boiling a pot of water with a lid. And journaling is like removing that lid and letting all those fumes that are underneath come up. Imagine what a relief that is, spiritually, energetically. It's a process of being thoughtful. It's a process of transforming your energy. It's a profound way of allowing yourself to feel, giving yourself permission to speak your truth. Sometimes we judge our thoughts. Sometimes we judge our feelings and we want to suppress them and push them down because they're angry feelings or they're negative, and so we want to push them down. But that just makes us feel heavier. That just brings about more depression and more sadness because now we're pushing these emotions down. So when you do journal, allow yourself permission to feel these things and to express them onto the page, because in doing that, you let them go. And don't worry about spelling or grammar. This is not about that. This is about giving yourself the opportunity to express yourself without judgment. Like, how can you become the best version of yourself if you're constantly judging your thoughts and your feelings? How can you become the best version of yourself if you don't have the courage to speak your truth, not even in the intimacy of a journal? Hey ladies, are you craving transformation and personal growth? Are you ready to get radically honest with yourself and own your story? Are you ready to build confidence so that you can manifest your goals? If so, then this may be just what you're looking for. Spiritual Cardio is a course in transformational wisdom that combines traditional spiritual practices with real life experience. At Spiritual Cardio, we heal in community where we can be vulnerable and raw. Because when one woman speaks her truth, she begins to heal. and she opens the door for another woman to speak hers. At Spiritual Cardio, every lesson is designed with you in mind. That includes practical tools with relatable real-life examples. At Spiritual Cardio, we help identify and release energetic blocks so that you can become the architect of your destiny. Head over to valeriezapeta.com to read the powerful testimonials from previous clients and register for an upcoming session. Group and one-on-one coaching is available. All sessions are live and in real time. Now back to the show. I want to give a shout out to Diana Robb, PhD. I read her book, Writing for Bliss, several years ago, and there's a passage in her book that I want to share with you, and it says this: when you are in tune with your authentic or inner voice, you have a greater chance of tapping in to your intuition, and thus you become more alert to messages from the universe. Your inner authentic voice gives you affirmation and advice. It might also arrive during altered states of consciousness, relaxation, or self-hypnosis. During difficult times, your authentic voice may become even louder. So expressing yourself and giving yourself permission to express or release all the noise in your mind gives you the opportunity to connect to your authentic self. It provides you the clarity you need to be aligned with your intuition and tapped into your higher self. And your higher self can be God, your soul, the Holy Spirit, however you want to interpret that. When you are fully tapped in to your authentic self, then you can interpret what that means for you. Some people don't believe in God, but they believe in souls, or some people may believe that God is the universe. Like, however your intuition allows you to practice spirituality, then that's fine. But journaling gives you the clarity to be able to tap in to you, to who you really are. Sometimes we get so caught up in the noise and in pain. Like, if you haven't dealt with your wounds from the past, whether it be from childhood or things that happen in adolescence or adulthood, you're missing out. Because in healing that, there is a whole version of you on the other side. And there's so many blessings on the other side too. Like when your energy is released because it's not suppressing all of this negative emotion anymore, that energy gets redirected. And that gets redirected towards wherever it needs to go based on your life experience, whether that's self-love, whether that be getting unstuck and you're more tapped into creativity. That might be energy going into forgiveness. Maybe you need to forgive yourself or forgive others so that you can fully move on emotionally. Maybe that's joy. Maybe it's gratitude, clarity. Maybe it goes towards inspiration or motivation towards your goals. It will naturally go where it needs to go. For me, when I started doing my inner work, when I started journaling again and getting sober, that energy for me went to self-love, to recognize that I was not in tune with any self-love, but it was more a lifestyle aligned with self-hate than I was desperate for self-love. So all of my energy and frequency went into how I can love myself. And that was when I started meditating. That is when I started doing a gratitude practice. That is when I started journaling more and getting in tune with my feelings, because I was no longer running from them. I wanted to be in alignment. So I was taking the time to get to know myself on a very profound level. So journaling does that for you. I hope that you find this episode helpful. I want you to know that journaling may feel silly. This may sound like some woo-woo spirituality type stuff. And maybe it is some woo-woo stuff, but maybe the stuff that you're doing isn't working to help you fully tap in and get to know yourself. Anything and everything you can do to improve your life, I'm hoping to help you with. I'm hoping to give you some tips and tricks to help you get there, to help you become the best version of yourself. What if the process of self-discovery was meant to make us stronger, perhaps more resilient? The process of self-actualizing, of becoming the best version of ourselves, was supposed to help us recognize the pain within, but not for us to dwell in it. It was so that we can stop being afraid of it, because pain will come around again, right? This is life. But it won't stop us, not anymore. Not like it did before. In the past, it paralyzed us by blocking the connection to our worth, to our intuition, to our internal self-love. But as we choose to heal, we align with our inherent wisdom within. And that's what journaling helps us do. It helps us align with the internal wisdom that we have within all of us. And we begin to love ourselves throughout this process. And in gaining that type of clarity, we see the humanity in our adult selves, because we took the time to see and hear ourselves, to see and hear the child within us. This is how we become whole. How can we go from feeling lost and hopeless to awakened and empowered? Well, first of all, it's a process. But the first step is taking an honest look at ourselves in the mirror, with no yes men or yes women around us. No enabling, right? No enablers. And we ask ourselves, what do I really want? And do I have that now? What I really wanted when I started to recognize that I was living a self-destructive lifestyle, I really wanted peace. I wanted the pain cycle to stop. I wanted the self-inflicted pain and shame to stop. And so I asked myself, how do I get this? How do I get peace? How do I begin to demonstrate to myself that I love myself? And for me, the answer was clear, because alcohol was the common denominator. And these questions were only the beginning, because there's self-work involved in the process. But I want you to know that if you stay true to what you ultimately want, to what you write down on those pages, set your intention by journaling. What is it that you want? What is it that would fill you up, that would fill your cup? Nothing is too big. No dream, no goal is too big. Write it down. Just write it down. And then secondly, get honest with yourself about what your insecurities are. I wasn't confident in the past, and I couldn't stand to be alone with myself or my negative emotions. But getting honest with myself through journaling, all of that, it gave me direction on what I needed to do to heal those things so that I could pursue those goals, so that I could align with this version of me that I wanted. Sometimes we get so caught up in our story and our wounds and our pain that we stop imagining the possibilities of the life that we want. So get honest with yourself about the life that you want, and do it through journaling. Get honest with yourself. And that honesty will set you free. Sometimes we're not willing to get honest with ourselves because we don't want to face ourselves, because we don't want to hold ourselves accountable, because we want to give ourselves permission to be lazy. Because once you get honest with yourself, there's work to do. It doesn't just stop at the honesty and your life magically changes. Once you get honest with yourself, there is work to do. But what'll happen is that when you start to do the work, you look back at your life and you see how much you've changed. And you're grateful that you started. What you don't want is for 5-10 years to go by and regret that you never started. Don't let your life pass you by. Get honest about your aspirations. Get honest with yourself about your goals. Get honest with yourself about your wounds so that you can start to heal them, because that will clear blocks. That will help you gain clarity on what your next steps are. That will help you tap into the truest, most authentic version of you. That helps you tap into the deepest desires that are in your heart, and you change your life. Thanks, you guys. This is Valerie Z. Thank you for coming back and tuning in to the Spiritual Cardio Podcast. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. I want to thank you for tuning in to this podcast. This podcast means the world to me. I pour my heart and soul into each episode, and I hope that you gained value from this. I'm now 6 years sober, and I feel really blessed to be in the space, to be who I am today, all because I chose to get radically honest and I chose to love myself. Of course, please support the show. It would mean so much to me if you would share the show with someone you love, share this episode with someone you love, and follow at Spiritual Cardio on social media. You can also follow my other account, which is at This Is Valerie Z on IG. You can donate to the show. This is a self-funded show, so if you find value in this and want to support my work, you can donate at valeriezapeta.com. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Anything you can do to support the show is going to help me spread this message. So I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. This is Valerie Z, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hey, thank you for showing up and spending some time with me. If you loved this episode, please make sure to subscribe. And for exclusive content, you can sign up for my newsletter at valeriezapeta.com. I'll see you guys at the next show.